No, it's recording.
In progress. We on the air now?
We are. Share. So I fixed it for you, Richard, so that you can able to say, oh, should go to the same time. So if you can see that it's moving as you move.
It says if you could just have the link sent out at the start of the recording, that would be great.
Okay. I will send it right now for you. It should be on the City of Binghamton's website. When you go send it to us.
I've never done the Zoom yet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
He's done it.
All right, so here's mouse.
Thank
You
you.
can just scroll up and if you click.
So it's on the website, just like the city council.
It should be, yeah.
I don't know if he's aware of that.
It should be. Let me go double check. Was it Darius or Scott?
Darius, yeah. Thank you. Okay, we should be starting in a few minutes. We're waiting for a quorum.
Yeah, I just emailed them.
Okay.
But also it's on, I just double checked, it's on the calendar on the City of Binghamton website, the meeting ID and the passcode.
Thank you.
Let me know if you need anything, okay?
I wanted to ask if there were any departments that I should approach directly rather than foil, because I did foil the.
I did, I saw your foils, I'm gonna respond to the request, I saw them come in, it's totally up to you, but typically what I would say is for records requests, just to reach out directly to the FOIL officer.
Go to-
Yeah.
The other department we're dealing with is the water.
Okay, yeah, you can FOIL those too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm just gonna close one door for you, since that's loud.
Ten, 40. Oh. It's- Let's see, here we go.
Hello? Are you able to hear me? Sure.
Hi, Darius. I can't see you. I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I have the video going. I don't know if they just don't have my portion of it pulled up. If you're able to get that on the screen.
It's okay. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, so we'll start the meeting and it's October 10th, 2024. And we're starting at 1:41 p.m. This is the Ecotoxicology Committee of the City of Binghamton Commission for Conservation of the Environment. Call to order at 1:41. Roll call. Richard Giannaccio here. Darius Bang
Here?
here. And Scott couldn't make it today. And there's no one else here. So there's nobody for public comments, so I'm going to go right to the minutes. Do we have minutes yet or not?
No, I don't have them drawn up yet.
Yeah.
I was wondering if we could just do a little discussion of those, go over what we talked about last
Okay.
meeting.
All right, so we're going to skip the minutes. There were some technical difficulties with the video, which was never posted. And I'm going to go to the close the public comment and close the minutes and go to the committee task force reports. Being that the update that I gave last time was never posted for the purposes of the community and others listening, I'm going to go through just the summary and conclusions at the end and also about the court decision that was made, okay? And then because on the 24th, we're going to have a vote on this from the commission. And then I also did some work with the Parks and Recreation Task Force, so we'll talk about that. So as far as the water quality is concerned, we had Professor Paul Conant come here on August 8th, and he made a very detailed and compelling presentation as to why we should stop fluoridating the water of Binghamton. And summary and conclusions are up on the board now on the slide. More than 70 human studies, including 3 high-quality studies funded by the NIEHS, the National Institute for Environmental Health Science, indicates that fluoride lowers IQ during fetal and infant exposure at levels experienced in fluoridated communities. And a high-quality study also indicates an association between fluoride exposure and increased hip fracture in postmenopausal women that was found in a study by Healthy 2021 at doses experienced in fluoridated communities, which is 0.7 parts per million. The scientific evidence that fluoride causes harm is far superior to the evidence that ingesting fluoride substantially lowers tooth decay. Science does not justify denying informed consent and forcing this practice on people who do not want it and may be harmed by it. The CDC and most researchers admit that the predominant benefit of fluoride is topical, not systemic. So you put toothpaste on the surface of your teeth, that may do some benefit, but as far as ingesting fluoridated water, the research has shown that there's either no effect or very minimal effect. The CDC and most researchers admit that the predominant effect is topical. And there is little reason to swallow the fluoride when fluoridated toothpaste is readily available. But swallowing it is when the harm comes in. Most countries do not fluoridate. Tooth decay is coming down as fast in non-fluoridated countries as in fluoridated countries. And that includes Europe, which about 97% of Europe is not fluoridated. Page 3. Tooth decay is more likely caused by poor diet, too much sugar, and poor dental hygiene than lack of fluoride in the water or diet. Education offers a more rational and practical approach than fluoridation. And an excellent model of this approach is the Child Smile program in Scotland, which is cost-effective and offers the added benefit of enhancing health, as well as reducing the prevalence of obesity and diabetes. Professor Conant urges Binghamton to end fluoridation as soon as possible. It is not mandated by the state of New York. The Ecotoxicology Committee unanimously agrees. We took a vote at the last meeting, September 12th. Now we're looking at the annual water quality report from the City of Binghamton for 2023. It shows clearly in there that the water is fluoridated at the level recommended by the EPA, which is 0.7 parts per million. So the city of and the EPA recommendations are also transferred over to the CDC. So the City of Binghamton follows that recommendation, which is outdated and does not follow the overwhelming science of recent years. And this was borne out by a recent court report, which we're going to be speaking about in a minute or two. At the very least, the research suggests that the optimal range of 0.6 to 0.8 milligrams per liter, or parts per million, poses an increased risk of hip fractures among postmenopausal women, plus a risk to infants drinking infant formula made with fluoridated water, an environmental justice issue. Other elevated risks may include those to the developing fetus, children, adolescents, diabetics, athletes, and people with hypothyroidism. Indeed, the level of fluoridation was 1 part per million until 2015, and when it was lowered to the present level of 0.7, and that was because of an epidemic of fluorosis among teenagers. With regard to fetuses and infants and children, a federal court has ruled that current levels of fluoridation pose, quote, an unreasonable risk of reduced IQ in children. And this is a copy of the front page of the decision. It's an 80-page decision by Judge Chen. And here I blew up a portion. The issue before this court is whether the plaintiffs have established a preponderance of the evidence that the fluoridation of drinking water at levels typical in the United States poses an unreasonable risk of injury to the health of the public within the meaning of the amended TSCA, Toxic Substances Control Act, is what it stands for. For the reasons set forth below, the court so finds. In other words, specifically, the court finds that the fluoridation of water at 0.7 milligrams per liter, the levels presently considered optimal in the United States, pose as an unreasonable risk of reduced IQ in children. It should be noted that this finding does not conclude with certainty that fluoridated water is injurious to public health. Rather, as required by the amended Toxic Substances Control Act, the court finds that there is an unreasonable risk of such injury, a risk sufficient to require the EPA to engage with a regulatory response. This order does not dictate precisely what the response must be. Amended TCA leaves that decision in the first instance to the EPA. One thing the EPA cannot do, however, in the face of this court's finding, is to ignore that risk. And that ruling came just a few weeks ago, following our last meeting, and so that's the update that I wanted to add for today. Any comments, Darius?
No, I mean, I think it just shows that, you know, we're ahead of the curve in recommending what we're recommending here. And, you know, stopping the use of fluoridation in the city's water.
Yes.
And, hopefully this will, help some of the people on the commission and then within the city see that, um, that, the science really is in your favor here.
Yeah, this is based only on the IQ consideration, not the other considerations. But the IQ and the hip fractures are two of the ones that were found to have occurred at these low levels of 0.7 parts per million. Now, there are some people that may also have other effects if they have thyroid conditions or diabetes. There are vulnerable populations that cannot tolerate the levels that are currently being used. So,
Yeah, definitely a lot of other science to consider.
yeah. So we've got that quote from the last time. We're going to be passing it on to the commission on the 24th. I will be posting reference materials, including links to our previous meetings, the slideshow, as well as references that were used to produce the slideshow and the court decision, etc., relevant documents that people can use. That'll be on Basecamp. If anybody from the public wants it, they can contact us, and I'd be happy to email them or get them to you some way, one way or another. So we talked about last time starting the new chapter after this is over to look at the ways in which the microorganisms are controlled in our drinking water so that we don't succumb to some microbial infection. And currently, the process that's used is chlorine. There are other ways of doing it, other chlorine compounds, as well as ozone or UV light. So I think we're going to take a look at those, and we're going to request some information from the water department. I don't think this is going to be a very long, drawn out thing, probably a month or two at the most. And then we can go on into looking at the other aspects, like other chemicals that are added to the water, and as well as contaminants that are in the water before we even treat it. So I've been informed by the clerk's office that to get this information, we're going to have to do some FOIL requests. So are you willing to work on this with me, Darius, or did you want to concentrate on the Parks Department, or both, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm willing to work on this. Definitely.
Okay, thank you. So we'll work on that in between meetings. And now for the Parks and Recreation Task Force, I already took the first step and requested from them invoices of chemicals that they have used, ordered for use by the Parks Department, such as fertilizers, larvicides, pesticides, insecticides.
Okay, gotcha. Did we get anything back from them yet, or are you still waiting?
Excuse me?
Did we get anything back from them on that yet, or are we still waiting?
We have it goes to the clerk's office first, and she just sent it out now. So it they're supposed to respond within 5 business days, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you get the documents. In this case, we probably will, but in other cases, like if there are personnel involved and they have to redact or go through with the magic marker, it'll take a little longer. And that's why I was advised to not ask for too much at one time. So that's
Gotcha.
why for now, I just asked for the last 2 years of chemicals that were being purchased or delivered to water treatment.
That makes sense.
But again, like if you and Scott are involved, we can get other things going at the same time that might take a little longer to get the response to. And
Yeah.
we could, instead of waiting for one and then starting the next one. Okay, so that's underway. And that's about all I have to say as far as the committees are concerned. Did you want to work on the Parks Department committee as well, Darius?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in that one.
Okay. Thank you. And as far as future meetings, I'm wondering if we should schedule it another time, or should I just ask to start it earlier? Because
Yeah. Yeah, if another time might, if another time works for you, I feel like that might be best just because Thursdays are kind of tough. I feel like that's close to a lot of my classes. I have like my longer classes this day.
all right.
So if, we could work another day out, that'd be great.
Scott's not here, so I'll wait till we were all kind of together. We could communicate about setting the next meeting time.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
But
Yeah, the reason why I did Zoom today was just because I have a quiz and, I didn't want to have to deal with parking and.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I thought this would be better because it's the same time as the regular meeting, but even that's a difficult.
Yeah, that one's difficult too.
Okay, so we'll try to find another time.
Okay.
And that's about it. I just do you have any comments you'd like to make?
I don't think I have any comments at this time. Yeah, I think we're making good progress with everything we need to. So. Yeah. And then, do you want to just discuss the minutes from last week?
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is just to most of the meeting was just summarizing Professor Connett's presentation, and then we had a brief discussion and we took a vote. Right, and then we talked about where we were going to go forward with these other, the microbiology of the water and the Parks Department, and so we started the Parks Department. But it was brought up as new business the last meeting, if you recall. So
Okay.
we just get those basics in, and that you and I were here and we had a quorum and we took the vote and it was unanimous, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it wasn't a long meeting.
Yeah.
It was
I just wanted to make sure I was getting it all done. All right.
and I think that's what we took care of. So things are moving forward now. I mean, this is the first time I did a FOIL request, and the way to do it is you just go to the city clerk's website. On the city website there, you go to the city clerk's page, and you'll see in the left-hand corner, one of the top items, not the very top, but close to the top, you'll see FOIL requests, and you just press the button there. And you get the form to fill out online. Takes just a couple of minutes, really. You don't have to put much in there except for your name and your email and address and what you're looking for and who it goes to. And then you're supposed to specify if you want actual copies or you just want to look at it. I just put down that I want to view it first, and then if there are certain pages that I might want to copy, I can pick them out later.
Mm.
Rather
Okay.
than
Good to know.
copy. See, so it's very easy to do once you know how to get to the place where you find the form. That's it. So it was very easy. So now we've done it once, we can do it again, right?
Yeah.
So with that, we have a meeting in 2 weeks of the full commission. And I think we can entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn,
Yeah, I'll second that.
okay? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for coming, Darius. Good luck on your test.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Welcome.
Have a good one.
Bye. Scott told me he had a conflict, so they both told me, but it wasn't until just before the meeting, so I didn't want to cancel it. That